Hello everyone, my name is Ashish Rai and we are going to start the electrostatics first chapter, in which the first topic is electric charge. Okay, so first of all, electric charge is the property associated with the matter due to which it produces and experiences the electric and magnetic effect. It means charge is a property of matter due to which it produces the electric and magnetic effect. Okay, when the charge is moving, it produces the electricity. When charge is moving, it also produces the magnetic effect. You are knowing one example for the solenoid. In the solenoid, when current will pass through it, then it will behave like the magnet. Okay, so a charge can produce electric field and magnetic field also. Now the type of charge: one type positive charge and negative charge. You are knowing it the property very well. Like charges means positive will repel each other, and positive and negative will attract each other. Unlike charges attract each other. Now unit of the dimensional formula, unit and dimensional formula of the charge. SI unit of charge is coulomb, symbol is capital C. Some other units are like 1 millicoulomb means 10 to the power minus 3 coulomb, 1 microcoulomb means 10 to the power minus 6 coulomb, 1 nanocoulomb means 10 to the power minus 9 coulomb. CGS unit of the charge. CGS unit of the charge is called the electrostatic unit. ESU. ESU means electrostatic unit. Electrostatic unit. Okay, ESU. And 1 coulomb means 3 into 10 to the power 9 ESU. Dimensional formula of charge Q is AT. It is taken from the formula, you are knowing it, I is equal to Q by T. So simply you can say Q is equal to I into T. So the dimension of the Q will be, dimension of I is ampere and dimension of T is time. So that's why it is AT. Now in this chapter we always discuss about the point charge. Most of time we will discuss about the point charge. So what is the mean of the point charge? Point charge means the whose spatial size is negligible as compared to the distance. Means if the size of the charge is negligible as compared to the distance, then the charge can be taken as the point charge. Okay, so now there's a next topic is properties of charge. First property is charge is a scalar quantity and it has the nature additive nature. Additive nature means suppose there is any body, okay, and there's a lots of charges like plus Q, minus 2Q, plus 3Q, minus Q, plus Q, and so on. Okay, then what will be the net charge? So the net charge we can calculate by the simple addition. Net charge will be plus Q plus minus 2Q plus 3Q and plus Q and plus minus Q. Now add the positive charges. So plus 1 plus 3 plus 1, it will be the plus 5. And add the negative charges, it will be the minus 3Q. So plus 5Q and minus 3Q will be plus 2Q. So the net charge on the body is plus 2Q. That's why it is a scalar quantity and they are additive in nature. Now charge is the conserved, means this is also called the conservation law. Charge can neither be created nor be destroyed. Okay, means चार्ज को हम क्रिएट भी नहीं कर सकते और डिस्ट्रॉय भी नहीं कर सकते. लेकिन अगर आपके दिमाग में ये चल रहा है कि suppose we are taking the two object and we will rub against each other, then they will be charged, it means we have produced the charge, we have created the charge. No, it's not like that. when you are rubbing the two objects, then the some electrons are transferred from one object to the another object. That's why there is a one material in which the deficiency of the electron, so that material will get the positive charge, and in the some material there is an excess of the electron, so the material is become the negatively charged. Okay, now quantization of the charge. What is the mean of quantization? So quantization means, suppose there are two body A and body B. You are going to rub that body A and B against each other. Then I have said to you, one electron will be transferred, means some electron will be transferred from one material to the another material. Suppose one electron is transferred from A into the B, then B will get the one extra electron, so the charge on B will be minus E, and A will lose one electron, so the charge on A will be plus 1E. If the two electrons are transferred, then it will be plus 2E and it will be minus 2E. Similarly, if n electron will be transferred, then it will be plus Ne and it will be minus Ne. Okay, so you can see, can it possible half E, 1 by 2E? 1 by 2E can be possible? No, it is not possible. Why? Because half electron cannot be transferred. Either the electron will transfer 1, 2, 3, 4, half fraction part is not possible. That's why the charge can be achieved by the body is only either the plus Ne or minus Ne. This law is called the quantization of charge. Okay, and we can say that when a physical quantity can have only discrete value rather than any value, the quantity is said to be quantized. मतलब कि किसी क्वांटिटी के पास अगर डिस्क्रीट वैल्यूज हो, जैसे 1 2 3 4 5 6 ऐसे हो, ठीक है, मतलब कॉन्टिन्यूअस वैल्यूज ना हो, ठीक है, जैसे नेचुरल नंबर डिस्क्रीट होता है लेकिन रियल नंबर कॉन्टिन्यूअस होता है, क्योंकि उसके बीच में ढेर सारे नंबर भी आते हैं, वो कभी खत्म नहीं होता, वो कॉन्टिन्यूअस होता है, ठीक है। तो अगर ऐसी फिजिकल क्वांटिटी जिसकी वैल्यूज जो है वो डिस्क्रीट वैल्यूज हो, तो हम बोलते हैं कि वो क्वांटिटीज जो है वो क्वांटाइज्ड हैं। जैसे एग्जांपल के लिए चार्ज या तो क्या होगा, या तो 1E का चार्ज होगा, या तो 2E का चार्ज होगा, या तो 3E का चार्ज होगा, ऐसे ऐसे करते करते या तो 10E का चार्ज होगा, ऐसे करते करते या तो NE का चार्ज होगा। बीच की वैल्यूज तो पॉसिबल नहीं है ना, इसका मतलब ये डिस्क्रीट फॉर्म है और इसी को बोलते हैं क्वांटाइजेशन ऑफ चार्ज। हम बोल सकते हैं चार्ज इज क्वांटाइज्ड, ठीक है। एंड वी कैन से द स्मॉलेस्ट चार्ज दैट कैन एग्जिस्ट इन द नेचर इज द चार्ज ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन। जो स्मॉलेस्ट चार्ज नेचर में एग्जिस्ट करता है उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं इलेक्ट्रॉन का चार्ज होता है, जो कि किसके बराबर होता है, -1.6 इंटू 10 टू द पावर -19 कूलम्ब। Okay, the same charge is also on the proton, but it will be the positive charge, means plus 1.6 into 10 to the power -19 coulomb. Okay, so this smallest charge is taken as symbol E, and we can say the charge on any body is integral multiple of the smallest charge contained by one electron. Okay, contained by one electron, that smallest charge E. Any body can take the charge only in the integral multiple of the smallest charge contained by an electron. Okay, means one electron के ऊपर जितना चार्ज होता है उसी के इंटीग्रल मल्टीपल के बारे में ही दूसरे बॉडीज के ऊपर चार्ज हो सकता है। अभी तो हमने देखा आखिर ये उसके मल्टीपल्स ही तो हैं, ठीक है। 0.5E, 0.5 का मतलब 1/2, 1/2 इलेक्ट्रॉन कैन नॉट बी ट्रांसफर, सो इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल। लाइक 17.2E, so it is also cannot be possible. That's why this is not possible to have any body this type of charge. Okay, 10 to the power minus 5. Actually 10 to the power minus 5 is also the decimal number. It will be equivalent to 0.00001. Okay, so decimal parts are not possible, only the integral multiples. Okay, so go to the next topic. Now the topic is Coulomb's law, which is most important topic. Okay, actually Coulomb is a great scientist and he has given the law for the force of attraction and repulsion between the charged bodies. Suppose there are two charged body Q1 and Q2. Okay, and the distance between them is R. Q1 and Q2 are the 2 point charges and distance between them is R. Then according to the Coulomb, the force of attraction or repulsion, it is based on the nature of the charge. Means if the Q1 is positive, Q2 is also positive, then it will be the repulsion. If the Q1 is positive, Q2 is negative, then it will be attraction. Simply you can say the force acting between the two charges is F and it is directly proportional to the product of charges Q1 and Q2 according to the Coulomb. And this force is also inversely proportional to the square of distance. When you combine the above, then you will get F is directly proportional to Q1 Q2 upon R square. And you are knowing it, when the proportionality sign eliminates with equality, then always there is a constant. Here is a constant K. Okay, here the K is called the proportionality constant and you can say the Coulombian constant. Okay, this is the formula you will get. Now where K is the proportionality constant having the value 8.988 into 10 to the power 9, simply we can write 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. Okay, and also the value of K is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, this epsilon naught is called the permittivity of the given medium between the Q1 and Q2. And if we will assume that there is a free space between the Q1 and Q2, then we will write the epsilon naught. If some other material will filled up, then we will write the epsilon in place of the epsilon naught. Okay, we will discuss it later, don't worry. Now the direction of the force is always along the line joining the two charges. दोनों charges को जो join करने line है उनके along ही होता है, चाहे वो repulsion क्या होगा तो outward होगा और attraction का होगा तो inward होगा. The force is repulsion if the charge have the same sign, means positive positive or negative negative, and attractive if the charge has the opposite sign, means one is positive, second is negative. This force is conservative in nature. Conservative in nature means if the work done by the force doesn't depend upon the path followed, then it will call the conservative force. Okay, now this is also called the inverse square law. You are knowing it, F is inversely proportional to the square of distance. This is called the inverse square law. So you can say the Coulombian force is also following the inverse square law. Now let's talk about the K. K means dead proportionality constant. Okay, now constant K depends upon the system of unit and the medium between the two charges. ये सिस्टम ऑफ यूनिट पे भी डिपेंड करता है और दोनों चार्जेस के बीच में कौन सा मीडियम है इस बात पे डिपेंड करता है. नाउ फर्स्ट लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द dependency on the system of unit. In the CGS system, value of K is 1 for air. okay, and if K has one value, then the force will be convert like this. Now in the SI unit, K has the value 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught for air, or you can say the space. Both have the same value. Actually they are very close to each other, that's why we have taken the same value. So K is called 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught in the SI system, and its value is 9 into 10 to the power 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square. This is the dependency on the system of unit. Okay, now there's some note point, you should know it, like epsilon naught. Epsilon naught is called the absolute permittivity of air or free space if naught is there. जिस जीरो, ये जो एप्सिलॉन और जो जीरो यहाँ लिखा हुआ है, इसको एप्सिलॉन जीरो या फिर एप्सिलॉन नॉट करके आप प्रोनाउंस कर सकते हो. नाउ इट्स वैल्यू मींस इंडिविजुअल वैल्यू ऑफ एप्सिलॉन नॉट फॉर एयर एंड फ्री स्पेस इज 8.85 into 10 to the power minus 12. Okay, and its dimensional formula is this. Epsilon naught relates with the absolute magnetic permeability. In the magnetic chapter we will also understand one more constant, that is mu naught. One is epsilon naught and second one we will discuss in the magnetic chapter, it is mu naught, and it will call the magnetic permeability, and it is called the absolute permittivity, and the relation between them with the speed of light is this. This relation is very important. Okay, c is the speed of light, and you are knowing it, c means 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, and the relation between the c and mu naught and epsilon naught is this relation. This is very important relation. Now effect of medium. Suppose there are two charges q1 and q2. Distance between them is r, and they are kept in the air or space, whatever you want you can write. Okay, and the force between them is F naught or F air, just write F air. Okay, if you put some other material between them, then this force will be changed. Then the new force will be changed. New force has become k times smaller, means पहले से छोटा हो जाएगा फोर्स, k times smaller. ओके, अगर हम दो चार्जेस के बीच में कोई भी मीडियम अगर रख दें तो उनके बीच का जो फोर्स होगा वो रिड्यूस हो जाएगा कितने टाइम्स, k टाइम्स. ओके, देन फ्रॉम दिस वी कैन राइट Fm. k का फॉर्मूला क्या होगा, 1 अपॉन k, और F एयर का फॉर्मूला क्या होगा, 4 पाई एप्सिलॉन नॉट q1 q2 अपॉन r स्क्वायर. यहां मैंने इसको भी स्मॉल q लिख लीजिए, कोई इशू नहीं है. Fm इक्वल टू वी कैन राइट 1 अपॉन 4 पाई k एप्सिलॉन नॉट q1 q2 upon r square, and now we can write Fm is equal to 1 upon 4 pi. इसकी जगह पे मैं एप्सिलॉन लिख रहा हूं, ध्यान देना, एप्सिलॉन upon r square. So this is the force when some material medium is kept between the q1 and q2. Here epsilon equal to epsilon naught into k, right, and k is equal to epsilon upon epsilon naught. This is also called the dielectric constant. This K is also called the dielectric constant. ओके मीन्स अगर न्यूमेरिकल्स देगा आपको तो न्यूमेरिकल्स में क्या देगा आपको, सपोज दैट इन द न्यूमेरिकल आस्किंग फॉर द सम medium is present between the charges and calculate the force of attraction between them, then it will give the value of K in the question, and epsilon naught you are knowing the value, so you can calculate the value of epsilon. You will put here and do the calculation. Okay, or simply you can use this formula to calculate. It will be the more convenient to you. Why? Just put the value of K 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. You are knowing the value 9 into 10 to the power 9. Q1 Q2 will be given, R will be given. You can easily calculate. So you can also use this formula. Means Fm equal to F air upon K. This formula you can also use. Now there are some specific values for the dielectric constant. This is the medium and the value of K. For vacuum or air, value of K is 1, water 80 approximately, mica 6, glass 5 to 10, and metal, for metal it is infinite. Okay, now there's a one topic, vector form of the Coulomb's law. Actually Coulomb's law is about the force between the two charges, and you are knowing it, force is a vector quantity, so we should know the vector form of the Coulomb's law. Okay, so I am drawing the diagram. Okay, now suppose there are two charges, one charge Q1 whose position vector is R1 vector, and the second charge is Q2 whose position vector is R2 vector. This is origin. Okay, now this will be R12 vector, means position of 2 from 1, and this can be written as R2 vector minus R1 vector. Okay, now since we are discussing the vector form of the Coulomb's law, so we can write here, in the vector form it will contain the magnitude and the direction both. Okay, so let's write the firstly magnitude, means force on 1 due to 2. Suppose the both are the positive charges. Okay, so they will repel each other. If they will repel each other, then this will call the force on 2 due to 1, and this will call force on 1 due to 2. Okay, जिसके ऊपर फोर्स है उसको पहले लिखेंगे और जिसकी वजह से उसको बाद में लिखेंगे. तो force on 1 due to 2, F12 is equal to, firstly it will have the magnitude 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q1 Q2 upon R square, and then it will also have the direction. So what is the direction from Q1 to Q2? Let the direction is R12 cap, and direction from Q2 to Q1 is unit vector R21 cap. So we can write here R12 cap, equation number 1. Okay, Similarly, you can write F21 vector is equal to, magnitude will be same, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon r square, but the direction will be opposite, so it will be r21 cap. Equation number 2. Here equation 1 and 2 are called unit vector form. Unit vector form. Okay, and also you are knowing it, r12 cap is equal to minus of r21 cap, right? So put in equation 1, if you put minus r21 in place of r12 cap in the equation 1, then you will have f12 vector is equal to minus 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon r square r21 cap. And if you equate this from the equation number 2, then you will get f12 vector is equal to minus of f21 vector. What is this? This is showing that the f12 and f21 have the equal magnitude, but they have the opposite direction. This is verifying the Newton's third law. Okay, means every action has the equal and opposite reaction. This is verifying it. It means if the charge 1 q1 is applied the force f21, then the same and opposite force is applied by the charge q2 also. Okay, now from 1 and 2 we are knowing it, if there's a r12 vector, then it means r vector means magnitude of the r12 vector and the r12 cap. So r12 cap will be r12 vector upon magnitude of r12 vector. Let the magnitude is r. Okay, then it will be f12 vector is equal to, put this in equation 1, f12 is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon r square, and the place of r12 cap we were going to write r12 vector upon r. Then it will have f12 vector equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon r square into, not square, r square and this r, it will be r cube, na, r cube into r12 vector. Similarly you can write for the f21 vector also. Directly I am writing 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 upon r cube r21 vector. Suppose this is equation number 3, this is equation number 4. Here equation 3 and 4 is called r12 vector is a position vector, na, so it is called position vector form. Okay, this is called the position vector form of the Coulomb's law. Both are the vector form. You can write any one, means 1 2 or 3 4, anyone. Okay, now go to the next topic, which is superposition principle. Okay, principle of superposition. What is the principle of superposition and what is its requirement? Suppose there is a charge q, and around the charge q there is a many charge q1, q2, q3, just like qn minus 1, qn, means n number of charges are present. Okay, then we want to find the net force on q. Net force on q. So the net force on q will be, suppose q1 charge is applying the force F1, q2 charge is applying the force F2, q3 charge is applying the force F3. Similarly, nth charge is applying the force Fn vector. Then according to the principle of superposition, the net charge on the q will be the vector sum of the forces developed by the individual charges. Okay, understand, this is very important. This is the vector sum. This is not the scalar sum. This is not like 3 plus 5 equal to 8. This is not like that. We have to do the vector sum, and you are knowing that the algebra of the vector is different from the scalar. So we have to follow the rules of the vector to add the f1, f2, f3 and so on. Okay, I am giving you one example. Suppose there is a two forces. Okay, suppose there is a two forces is acting on a charge q due to the f1 charge q1 and the charge q2. Force f1 and force f2 having the angle theta. Then the net charge F will be F equal to under root f1 square plus f2 square plus 2f1 f2 cos theta. Okay, this will give the magnitude of the net force. And what is the direction? So direction can be given by this formula, tan alpha is equal to f2 sin theta upon f1 plus f2 cos theta, where alpha is the angle from the first vector, means f1 vector. Okay, this formula is from the class 11th. You are knowing it, this formula. This is the addition of the two vectors. Okay, so that's it. Rest thing in the next class we will discuss the electric field. Okay, thank you very much.